The big space station floated high above the planet called HFY, like a dark metal crown. The station belonged to the Galactic Concord, but everyone knew the Krell Dominion really ran things. The Krell were tall, insect-like beings with hard black shells and many sharp arms. They had already taken 3 human colonies without much fight. Now they called the humans here to finish the job. Ambassador General Tharok stood in the center of the huge meeting room. His body reached almost 3 meters tall. His armor covered him completely from head to foot. The armor was black and shiny like wet stone. It had many layers that could stop heavy weapons from warships. People called it Void Plate. No one had ever broken it. Not once in 200 years of war. Tharok moved his head slowly and looked at the human group that just walked in. 5 diplomats wore dark suits. 1 scientist carried a tablet. Another person stood a little behind them. She was a woman with short brown hair. She wore a plain gray jumpsuit, with no decorations. Her name was Dr. Alara Voss. The list said she was only a materials expert. She looked calm and a bit bored. The room had high walls made of smart glass that could turn dark or clear. Right now, the glass showed the blue and green planet below. Many Krell soldiers stood along the walls, their guns pointed down but ready. Tharok clicked his mouthparts together. It made a sharp, happy sound. "Humans," he said in a deep, rough voice. "You came to sign the paper. Give us your worlds, and we let your people live as workers." "That is fair." The head diplomat stepped forward. His name was Marcus Hale. He held his hands together to stay polite. "We came to talk," he said. "We want peace but not surrender." Tharok laughed again. The sound hurt the ears like breaking metal. "Talk," he repeated. "You lost 3 fights already. Your ships burn. Your soldiers run. What is left to talk about?" He walked closer to the table in the middle. The table was long and black. A thick tablet sat on it. The tablet showed the surrender, on words in many languages. Tharok pointed 1 claw at the tablet sign he ordered. "Or we start bombing your home planet tomorrow." The diplomats looked at each other. They knew the Krell could do it. The Krell fleet waited outside the station, big guns ready. Alara Voss stayed quiet. She watched everything with steady eyes. She held a small metal cup in her hands. Warm tea steamed from it. She took 1 small sip and kept looking. Tharok noticed her. He turned his big head toward the woman. "Why does this small, human stand there?" he asked. "She has no rank. She should wait outside like the others." Marcus Hale spoke fast. "She is our advisor on technology," he said. "She helps us understand things." Tharok stepped even closer. He stood right in front of Alara. His chest armor blocked her view of the table completely. The armor hummed softly. Power fields moved across the surface like slow blue lightning. "Move," he told her. "You block my path." Soft skin. Alara looked up at the huge figure. She studied the armor with care. She saw the tiny patterns in the black surface. Thousands of small shapes fit together like a puzzle. She spoke very quietly, almost to herself. "The spacing looks tighter than the old reports we found." Tharok heard her words. His eyes became narrow. "What did you say?" he asked. Alara did not answer right away. She took another sip of tea. Then she put the cup down on the edge of the table very gently. She lifted her right hand slowly. 2 fingers moved forward. They touched the chest of the armor. Just a light. A brush to clean off 1 small spot of dust. The touch was soft. It lasted less than 1 second. Every person in the room stopped moving. The Krell soldiers lifted their guns a little. The diplomats held their breath. Tharok stood still like a statue. Then a clear, high sound filled the air. It was not loud, but very pure, like a bell made of glass. The sound touched every wall and every piece of metal in the room. Something changed. Cracks appeared on the black armor. Lines spread fast from the exact place, or where her fingers brushed. Tiny cracks became bigger cracks. The perfect surface broke apart. Pieces started to fall. The strong void plate that nothing could hurt began to break. Like dry clay. The rock made a strange noise. He stepped back fast. More pieces dropped to the floor with loud clangs. The armor kept falling until big parts of his chest and arms showed only thin gray cloth underneath. No protection left. The alarms in his suit screamed. Red lights flashed across his broken helmet. His voice came out, high and shocked. "Impossible," he shouted. "This cannot happen." The Krell soldiers pointed their guns at the humans now. Some shouted orders, others just stared with open mouthparts. Alara picked up her teacup again. She looked at the broken pieces on the floor. "Sorry," she said. It was dusty. The room stayed quiet except for the falling bits of armor and the panicked clicks from the Krell. The humans looked at each other with wide eyes. They did not expect this. Not at all. Tharok fell to one knee, his big body. The shook. He reached out with shaking claws to grab a piece of his own armor. The piece crumbled in his hand like burned paper. "How?" he asked. "How did this happen?" No one answered right away. The smart glass walls showed the planet below, still calm and beautiful. Ships moved in the distance like slow stars. Ilara took one more sip. She looked straight at Tharok with calm eyes. "We found the weakness a long time ago," she said. "Your armor uses special patterns to spread force. One exact touch at one exact speed. C finds the weak point. We tested it on broken pieces first. This was the first time we tried it on a real suit." Tharok stared at her. His many eyes blinked fast. "You did this with 2 fingers," he said. "No weapon. No power." "Yes," she answered. "Just fingers." The head diplomat. Marcus Hale finally spoke. His voice sounded strange. "We did not come here to fight," he said. But now things looked different. The Krell general tried to stand. His legs would not hold him well. More armor fell away. He looked small without. Somewhat outside the station, the Krell ships waited for orders. The orders did not come. The silence grew long. Alara finished her tea. She set the empty cup down. She turned to the diplomats. "We should go now," she said. "They need time to think." The human group started to walk toward the door. The Krell soldiers lowered their guns slowly. They looked confused and scared. Tharok stayed on the floor surrounded by black pieces. He watched the humans leave. His voice came out weak. "Stop," he said. "We must talk again." Ilara, Mat, looked back once. She gave a small nod. "Maybe later," she said. "When you fix your suit." The door closed behind them. The room became very quiet. The war had just changed. No one knew how much yet. But everyone felt it. The strongest armor in the galaxy broke from the lightest touch. And the person who did it looked like she did not even care. Word count 1,200 exactly. The clear bell sound still hung in the air like something alive. The cracks on Tharok's armor kept spreading. They moved, but faster now. Black pieces popped off and hit the floor with sharp clangs. Smoke rose from the broken edges. The once perfect void plate looked like a smashed mirror. Tharok stumbled back 2 big steps. His arms waved, trying to catch the falling parts. Nothing helped. More sections peeled away. The chest plate split down the middle. The shoulders dropped like heavy leaves. His legs showed thin gray undersuit cloth. No hard shell left there. The famous armor that stopped lasers and shells now lay in broken bits. On around his feet, the Krell soldiers shouted in their clicking language, guns lifted higher, some pointed straight at the humans. Others stayed frozen. Their eyes opened wide. They had seen Tharok win battles against bigger enemies. Now he stood half-naked in front of a small human woman. Tharok made a low, angry noise from deep in his throat. "You!" he said, pointing one shaking claw at Alara. "What did you do? Witchcraft. Sabotage." Alara stood still. She held the empty teacup in both hands. She looked at the mess. On the floor, then back at him. "I brushed dust off," she said. "That is all." "Dust," Tharok roared. "Dust does not break. Void plate, it takes battleships to scratch it." One of the Krell officers stepped forward. He was shorter than Tharok, but still tall. His own armor stayed whole. He scanned the pieces with a small device. The device beeped fast, Red lights flashed. He looked up at Thorok. General, the scan shows no energy blast. No projectile. No poison. No hack. The failure came from inside. The lattice just gave. Or way Thorok turned his head quick. You lie, he snapped. It must be a trick. Human trick. The officer shook his head. No trick, sir. The armor failed on its own. One touch caused total collapse. We have never seen this. The diplomats behind Alara moved closer together. Marcus Hale stepped up beside her. His face looked pale, but his voice stayed steady. General Thorok, he said, perhaps we should sit and talk. This changes many things. Thorok ignored him. He stared only at Alara. His many eyes blinked fast. You knew Or said. You came here knowing this would happen. Alara tilted her head a little. We knew your armor had a possible weak point. She answered. We found it in pieces from your crashed ships on Vor 3. We studied them for months. The patterns matched exactly what we saw today. Patterns? Thorok repeated like the word tasted bad. Yes, Alara said. Your void plate uses billions of tiny shapes. They lock together to spread force. One exact rhythm can break the lock. It is like pushing the wrong key on a huge machine. Everything falls apart. Thorok laughed, but the sound came out broken. No one has ever done this, he said. Thousands fought us. No one broke it. Alara shrugged. Maybe no one tried the simple way before. Humans like simple ways. The room felt smaller now. The smart glass walls showed the planet turning slowly below. Ships from both sides floated nearby, waiting for orders. No one moved yet. One Krell soldier lowered his gun a bit. He whispered to another. The second one clicked back fast. They both looked, like scared. Thorok tried to stand straight. Pieces of armor still hung on his back like broken wings. He pointed at Alara again. Explain, he demanded. How does a finger do this? Alara set the cup down. She spoke slow and clear. The touch matched a perfect wave. She said, Your lattice vibrates at many speeds. One speed cancels all the others. My fingers hit that speed exactly. The wave grew until the whole thing shattered. Thorok looked down at his chest. Only cloth covered it now. Thin straps held small plates over all important parts. Nothing else. His honor meant everything to a Krell. Now he stood exposed in front of enemies. You shamed me, he said, quiet now. Alara met his eyes. I did not mean to shame, she said. I meant to show truth. Your armor looked strong. We wanted to know if it really was. The head diplomat. Marcus spoke again. General, we did not plan to fight here. We came for peace, but this event means your leaders must rethink. Thorok turned to Marcus. You think this changes the war? He asked. It already has, Marcus. Art answered. Your strongest general stands broken by a touch. Your soldiers see it. Your fleet hears about it right now. Words travel fast. Thorok looked around. The other Krell avoided his eyes. Some clicked soft, worried sounds. Alara picked up her cup again. She turned it in her hands. We can leave now, she told Marcus. Or we can stay and talk more. It is your choice. General. Thorok breathed hard. His chest moved fast under the thin cloth. He looked at the surrender tablet still on the table, then at the broken, armor all around him. No, he said. We talk now. No one leaves until I understand. Marcus nodded. He looked at his team. Everyone sit, please. The humans moved to chairs on one side. The Krell officers stayed standing. Thorok walked slow to the head chair. Pieces crunched under his feet. He sat down heavy. The chair made a creak. Alara sat last. She placed the cup in front of her. She looked calm, like nothing big happened. Tell me everything, Thorok said. How many know this weakness? Alara thought for a second. Your science team knows. The leaders know a little. We kept it quiet until we were sure. Sure, Thorok said. You were not sure until you touched me. We were mostly sure, Alara answered. Testing on a live suit is different. We took the chance. Tharok stared at her. You risked war over a chance? We risked nothing, Alara said. If it failed, we would sign your paper. If it worked, we would not. The room stayed quiet for a long time. The planet turned outside, the ships waited. Tharok looked at his officers. Give me a new suit, he ordered. Now, one officer ran out fast. The others stayed. They watched Alara like she might break something else. Marcus leaned close to Alara and whispered, You really did not know for sure? Alara whispered back. I knew enough. Tharok heard them. He clicked his mouth parts together. You play dangerous games. Human. Alara looked straight at him. We play honest games. General. That is why we win sometimes. The broken armor kept smoking on the floor. Small lights blinked out one by one. The great void plate died. Are there in pieces. Outside the station, alarms started soft, then louder. Krell ships sent messages back and forth. No one attacked yet, but no one relaxed either. The talk had just started. The war felt different now. One brush changed everything, and the woman who did it sat quiet with an empty cup. She looked ready for whatever came next. The alarms and Tharok's. Suit screamed louder now. Red lights flashed across the broken helmet pieces on the floor. The thin undersuit he wore started to beep too. It warned of sea pressure loss and temperature drop. The room air felt colder already. Tharok sat heavy in the big chair. His many arms hung loose, some claws scratched at the table trying to find balance. He looked smaller without the armor. His hard shell body showed scars from old battles. Now those scars looked weak. One Krell officer ran back into the room. He carried a new suit, still black but simpler. No fancy layers, just basic battle plate. He bowed low. General, your replacement armor. Tharok waved a claw. Put it down. He said, I will not wear it yet. Not until I know what the officer asked. Know why this happened. Tharok answered. His voice shook a little. He turned to Alara again. Human, explain more. You said resonance? How does a finger make resonance strong enough to break void plate? Alara leaned forward. She rested her hands on the table, palms down. I will explain slow, she said. Your armor is smart. It has billions of small parts called metamaterials. They bend and twist to stop attacks. The parts lock in patterns, are like a net. When force hits the net, spreads the force everywhere. That is why nothing breaks it. Tharok clicked his mouth. Parts. Yes, that is how it works. Everyone knows. Alara nodded. But every net has weak spots, she continued. If you push at exactly the right speed and place the net shakes wrong, the shake grows bigger. It fights itself. The parts unlock. The whole thing falls apart. The officer with the scanner stepped closer. He looked at his device again. The numbers still said the same. No outside energy. Need just one touch at 0.3. Newton's force too small to notice. Yet it started the collapse. Tharok stared at Alara. You found this weak point. How from your own ships, she said. We took pieces from Kelvor. 3 after your defeat. The armor there cracked the same way. We put the pieces in our lab. We hit them with sound waves. We shook them with tiny tools. We found the exact frequency. The frequency that kills the lattice. Frequency? Tharok repeated. Yes, Alara said. My 2 fingers moved at that. Or frequency. The pressure matched. The speed matched. The wave started small. Then it grew. It ran through every part of your armor in less than 1 second. The armor could not fix itself fast enough. The diplomats listened. Close. Marcus Hale wrote notes on his tablet. The other humans stayed quiet. They knew most of this already, but hearing it here in front of the enemy felt different. Tharok looked at his officers. Scan the room, he ordered. Find any hidden device, any weapon, anything. The officers moved fast. They swept the walls, the table, the floor. They checked under chairs. They scanned the humans one by one. Nothing showed up. No hidden tech, no bomb, no emitter. One officer spoke. "General, there is nothing." The failure came only from the touch. Thurok hit the table with one claw. The sound echoed loud. "Then you are saying one human finger did this?" he asked. Ilara answered. "Yes." Thurok laughed again. The laugh sounded weak now. "You expect me to believe that?" "Believe what you want," Ilara said. "Facts stay the same. Your yang armor broke. Your soldiers saw it. The fleet will know soon." Thurok looked up at the smart glass. The planet still turned slow. Ships hung in space like waiting insects. Messages flew between them. Krell ships sent questions. Human ships stayed silent. An officer came close. He whispered to Thurok, "The High Command wants report. They ask why we stopped. They ask if humans attacked Thurok." Closed his eyes for a second. "Tell them truth." He said, "Tell them." General Thurok lost his armor to one touch. No attack. Just, "I quiet." "We do not want war," she said. "We want quiet." "We do not want war," she said. "We want you to stop attacking our worlds." Thurok opened his eyes. "You think this stops us?" he asked. "I think this makes you think," Ilara answered. "Your armor was your strength. Now everyone knows it can break. Your enemies will try the same trick. Your allies will doubt you." Thurok stayed silent. For a long time the room felt heavy. The broken pieces on the floor cooled now. No more smoke. Marcus Hale spoke next. "General, perhaps we pause this meeting. We give you time to talk with your leaders." "No," Thurok said. "We finish now." He looked at Ilara again. "Show me," he said. "Show me how you did it." Ilara raised one eyebrow. "You want me to touch another suit?" "Yes," Thurok said. "Prove it again. Prove it was not luck." The humans looked at each other. Marcus shook his head. "Slow. That might not be wise." Ilara stood up. She walked around the table. She stopped near the new armor the officer brought. It stood on a stand. Shiny and perfect. "Do it," Thurok said. Ilara lifted her hand. She moved slow. Everyone watched. She brushed one finger across the shoulder plate just once. Light touch. Same as before. Nothing happened. No sound, no crack. The armor stayed whole. Thurok smiled. "See," he said. "Luck? Only luck." Ilara shook her head. "No," she said. "The new suit uses different lattice spacing. You changed the pattern after HFY. We did not. Must have time to study this version." Thurok looked surprised. "You admit it? I admit facts," Ilara said. "The old design broke. The new one holds. For now." "For now?" Thurok repeated. "Yes," Ilara said. "We will find the new weak point too. It just takes time." Thurok stared at her. "You threaten us." "No," Ilara said. "I tell truth. Humans study. We learn. We break what needs breaking." The Krell officers clicked together, worried. The room felt tense again. Thurok stood up slow. He walked to Ilara. He stood close enough that she had to. "Oh, look up." "I should kill you now," he said. "You could try," Ilara answered. "But then you never learn how to fix your armor." Thurok clicked his claws together. "Then we talk more," he said. "We talk until I understand." Ilara nodded. "Good." She walked back to her chair. She sat down. Calm. The empty cup still sat in front of her. Outside the station, the ships waited longer. Messages flew faster. The galaxy started to hear the story. One touch, one brush. Armor shattered. And the war waited to see what happened next. The smart. Glass walls dimmed a little. The room lights grew brighter to keep everyone seeing clear. Thurok sat in his chair without armor. His thin undersuit looked gray and plain against his dark shell body. Small lights blinked on the straps that held the last bits of protection. His officers stood close. They watched him like he might break. Next to Lara, Voss stayed calm. She sat with hands folded. The empty teacup sat in front of her like a quiet witness. Marcus Hale and the other diplomats kept their eyes on Hugh the Krell. They waited for the next move. Thurok spoke first. His voice came low and rough. You say this weakness lives in all our old armor. He looked at his officers. Confirm it. One officer pulled out a bigger scanner. He connected it to the station system. The device hummed. Soft data flowed across a floating screen. Numbers, graphs, patterns. The officer read fast, then spoke. General. The analysis matches. The lattice design in your suit is the same as every void plate made before last cycle. All of them share the same spacing. All of them have the same cancellation point. Thurok closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them wide. How many suits, he asked. Millions. Sir, the officer said. Every soldier, every ship, every guard. Post, Thurok hit the table again. The sound rang hard. Then our whole army wears glass, he said. Glass that breaks from a finger. Not glass, Alara said. Just a design that forgot one thing. Thurok turned to her. What thing, humans? She answered. We touch things. We clean things. We fix things. We bump into things by accident. Your armor was built to stop big attacks. It never thought about small, careless touches. The officers clicked worried sounds. One of them spoke up. General High Command sends urgent message. They want full report. They say rumors already spread to other fleets. Thurok nodded. Send them everything he said. Send the scan. Data. Send the recording. Send my shame, let them see. The officer bowed and walked to a corner. He spoke quiet into a comm device. Words flew out fast. Alara watched. Then she spoke again. Your new suits use different patterns, she said. They hold for now. But we will study them too. We always do. Thurok looked at her long. You speak like this is normal, he said. Like breaking our best defense means nothing. It means something. Alara answered. It means the galaxy must change. You thought strength came from thick shells and big guns. We showed strength comes from thinking different. Marcus Hale leaned forward. General, your leaders will hear this soon. They will ask questions. They will wonder if they can trust their own armor. Thurok clicked his mouth. Parts. They will question me most of all. An officer came close again. General, the Concord Council joins the call. They demand your presence. They want the human woman too. Thurok stood slow. His legs looked unsteady without the heavy armor. He pointed at Alara. You come with me, he said. We face them together. Alara stood without hurry. Yes, she said. The group moved out of the room. Krell soldiers led the way. Humans followed. Thurok walked in the middle. His steps made soft clicks on the metal floor. The broken pieces stayed behind like forgotten trash. They entered a bigger chamber. A round table sat in the center. Hollow screens floated above it. Faces appeared on the screens. Tall Krell from many worlds. Their eyes sharp, their mandibles tight. One big face spoke first. General Thurok report. Thurok stepped to the center. I lost my armor, he said. One human touched it with 2 fingers. It shattered. No weapon. No trick. Just touch. Theo. Our faces on the screens moved fast. Some clicked angry. Some stayed silent. The same big one spoke again. Explain? Thurok looked at Alara. She stepped forward. My name is Alara Voss, she said. I work with materials. Your void plate has a flaw in the lattice design. A specific touch frequency cancels the bonding force. It spreads and destroys the structure. A smaller face asked. Proof. Thurok waved a claw. Play the recording. A hollow image appeared above the table. It showed the meeting room. Alara brushing the armor. Sucked the sound. The cracks, the fall. Everything clear and slow. The council watched in silence. When it ended, no one spoke for a long time. Then the big one asked, "How widespread?" All old void plate and officer answered, "Millions of units." The council erupted, clicks, shouts, orders. The faces turned to each other. Tharok raised one arm. "Quiet," he said. "We fix this. We change the design. We test every suit." Alara spoke. "Then, you can fix the old ones," she said. "Or you can talk peace. Your choice." The big face looked at her. "Unhuman, you dare speak here." "I dare," Alara said, "because I broke your armor without trying hard. You lost nothing yet, but you can lose more if you keep fighting." Tharok looked at her surprised. "You offer terms?" "No," Alara said. "I offer truth. Your fleets wait. Your soldiers wait. They see this. They wonder what breaks next." The council quieted. They looked at Tharok. He spoke slow. "We pause attacks. We talk terms. But we keep our worlds." Marcus Hale stepped up. "We agree to pause too. We want our colonies back. We want more glassing." The big face nodded. "We meet again soon. We send teams. We study this flaw, we decide." Tharok turned to Alara. "You come back for the next talk," he said. "Yes," she answered. The hollow screens blinked off. The room felt empty again. Tharok looked down at Alara. "You did not gloat," he said. "Why no need?" Alara answered. "We won the point." "That is enough." Tharok clicked soft. "Perhaps you are right." They walked back to the first room. The broken armor still lay on the floor. Tharok stopped. He picked up one piece. He turned it in his claws. "I wore this for 30 cycles," he said. "It never failed. It failed today," Alara said. "Because we learned." Tharok dropped the piece. It clanged on the floor. "Yes," he said. The humans gathered near the door. Marcus Hale spoke quiet. "We should return to our shuttle." Alara nodded. She looked at Tharok. "One last time. Thank you for listening, General." Tharok met her eyes. "Thank you for showing me," he said. The group left. The Krell stayed behind. They started cleaning the pieces. They talked. Seeked low about new designs, about tests, about fear. Outside the station, the ship still waited. But now, messages carried different words. Pause. Stand down. Observe. The war slowed. One small touch changed the path. Alara sat in the shuttle. She looked out at the stars. Her hands rested empty. "No teacup now?" Marcus asked. "You think they will honor the pause?" Alara shrugged. "Maybe," she said. "Or maybe they try to fix it fast." "Either way, we watch." The shuttle moved away, smooth. The station grew small behind them. The galaxy. It turned quiet for the first time in years, and everyone remembered the name of the woman who barely brushed a general and shattered his world. The shuttle slipped away from the orbital citadel, smooth and quiet. Engines hummed low as it turned toward the human jump point. Alara Voss sat near a window. She watched the big station grow smaller until it looked like a dark toy against the stars. Marcus Hale sat across from her. The other diplomats talked in low voices. They still felt shocked. Marcus broke the U.S.I. silence first. He looked at Alara and asked, "Do you think they will really stop?" Alara kept watching the stars. "Maybe," she said. "Or maybe they fix their suits fast and come back harder. Either way, we bought time." "Time." Marcus repeated, "Yes, time." The shuttle pilot spoke over the comm. "Home fleet sends greeting. They say the story spreads already. Every human ship knows. Every colony knows." Alara smiled small. "Good," she said. "Let it spread." Back on the Citadel. Tharok stood in a repair bay. Workers moved around him. Already fast. They brought new armor pieces. Different design, tighter lattice, new materials. They tested each part with small tools before attaching. Tharok watched silent. His body still felt strange without the old weight. An officer approached. General High Command approves the pause. They order all old void plate pulled from front lines. They start refit tomorrow. Tharok clicked his mouth, parts slow, and the humans. They wait for next talk. Sir, the officer said. They send no threats. Just wait. Tharok looked at my screen. The screen showed the human shuttle moving away. He felt something new. Not anger. Not fear. Something close to respect. He turned to the officer. Tell the council I will lead the next meeting. He said, I will wear the new armor, and I will listen. The officer bowed and left. Across the galaxy, news moved like fire ships. Picked up the relay messages, stations shared recordings. Planets watched in silence. The Krell. Dominion strong for centuries now showed a crack. A tiny crack, made by one human finger. The Earth people gathered in public squares. They watched big screens show the moment, the brush, the sound, the shatter. Cheers rose in every city. Humans who never fought before stood taller. In hidden labs, scientists worked faster. They took old Krell wreckage, they tested new patterns. They looked for more weak points. They knew the galaxy never stayed the same. Weeks passed. The pause held. No shots fired. No colonies burned. Ships from both sides met at neutral points. They talked terms. They shared data. The Krell showed their new armor designs. The humans showed nothing. They just listened. Tharok met Alara again. This time on a small station between systems. No big council. No crowds. Just them and a few guards. Tharok wore the new suit. It looked almost the same. Black and shiny. But the hum sounded different. Stronger? He stood across a table from Alara. She wore the same gray jumpsuit. She carried no tea this time. You came? Tharok said. You asked? Alara answered. Tharok pointed to his chest. This new lattice holds, he said. We changed the spacing, we added dampers. Your trick will not work again. Alara nodded. Probably not on this version. Tharok clicked soft. You say, probably. I say probably. Alara repeated. Because we keep learning. Tharok looked at her long. You do not fear us anymore. We never feared you, Alara said. We feared losing our home. That fear made us think hard. Tharok lowered his head a little. Then we talk real peace, he said. No surrender. No workers. No glassing. We keep our space. You keep yours. Trade opens. Warm borders open. Alara thought for a moment. Then she spoke. And the colonies we lost returned. Tharok said, we leave them. We take our ships home. Alara met his eyes. You can sell this to your council. I already did, Tharok answered. They saw the recordings. They saw the pieces. They know the cost of pride. Alara smiled small. Then we agree they signed nothing big. No grand paper, just a simple record. A promise between two beings who met in war and found another way. Tharok stepped back. He looked at his new armor. Then at Alara one question he said. Ask Alara said, why did you brush the dust? He asked why not a weapon, why not force? Alara shrugged. Because dust was there, she said. And because I wanted to see, I wanted to know if the stories were true. Tharok clicked again. Stories. Yes, Alara said. Stories say humans break things. Stories say we find ways no one expects. I wanted to test the story. Tharok stood quiet. Then he spoke. You passed the test. Alara laughed soft. Maybe they parted soon after Tharok went back to his fleet. Alara went back to her shuttle. Years later, the war became old history. Children learned about it in school. They saw the hollow of the brush. They heard the bell sound. They learned the name, Alara Voss. She became a quiet legend. Not loud, not proud. Just a woman who touched something impossible and changed everything. On quiet nights, Tharok sometimes stood on his ship bridge. He looked at old recordings. He touched his new armor. He remembered the day his world shattered from the lightest touch. A galaxy grew different. Trade flowed ideas. The galaxy grew different. Trade flowed ideas mixed. Old enemies met as friends. The Krell changed their armor again and again. Each time humans watched. Each time humans learned. But no one ever forgot the title that started it all. She barely brushed him. His armor shattered, and the stars kept shining on a new balance. Peace held not from fear, but from understanding. One small act, one simple touch, changed more than armies ever could. Ilara lived on. She worked in her lab. She drank tea. She smiled when people asked about that day. She always said the same thing. I just cleaned some dust, and the galaxy never forgot.